We Have Issues is a weekly podcast full of reviews of comics and oversharing. We use grown-up language to make very childish jokes. You can find the show at wehaveissues.net, as well as anywhere else where average to not too bad podcasts can be found. Away from your mic. I think that's why I was.
It's because you're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, why are you wearing sunglasses, Nick?
Me wearing sunglasses is not why you're not talking into your mic.
Yeah, no, I think it's because I'm distracted by that.
I'm wearing sunglasses.
That is legit.
I like to see people's eyes when I'm talking to them.
Well, you're just going to have to live without this time.
I can see them when you make him roll them into the back of his head. I could see them really clearly then.
I went to lunch and I felt fine, and I finished lunch today, and my eyes, I sat down at my desk and my eyes started feeling like they were going to burst out of my head.
Oh.
And it might be to do with sinuses. I was having a bit of trouble with my sinuses earlier in the week, but I'm just looking at what my voice does on the thing.
Well, see, that's...
But the only way I can stop them hurting is by wearing the sunglasses. So now I am having to wear sunglasses inside.
Do you have any rashes?
Yes.
Where?
Around my neck. I've probably got meningitis, haven't I?
Red and... Yeah, well, I was going to say, let's have a look.
Fucking hell.
Let's have a look.
Jane is looking at my neck. She's looking really closely at my neck. We don't have anything glass, though, so we'd know where...
Oh, no, you can still tell if you pressed it. It doesn't look like it's got any pinprick.
No, I think...
Do your joints ache?
No, well, no more than usual. I'm getting to the age where they always ache.
Have you had any ear infections recently?
No, but I've had a cold which has affected my sinuses, which has meant my ears have been all over the place, so it's very difficult to tell.
Oh.
I might have meningitis.
Yeah.
Listener, Janie is not a qualified medical
I'm not a qualified doctor, but I know a lot about meningitis.
Just in case. Fuck. Well, I know that you're making me feel very anxious about meningitis now, so...
Why?
Yeah.
Because he might have it.
No, he
I
hasn't
don't
got
fucking want it.
It's okay. If we're quick, then we'll get through the podcast before I need medical attention.
Yeah.
The neck thing is probably actually anxiety. I've probably just been scratching my neck a lot because I've been stressed out.
And you've been quite warm as well, so...
Yes.
Okay, heat.
Amy's been away at the beginning of this week, and I only masturbated the first night.
Well done. That's real.
And that was while editing the other podcast.
Fair enough.
So...
During, or did you stop, or was it to save
when I
time?
listen to James's voice for long enough, I have to stop sometimes and go look on the internet.
I think you'll find that's not an uncommon experience. I think quite a lot.
People stopping when they listen to your voice.
Quite a lot of people stop when they listen to me. Don't necessarily go on the internet, sort of just go and rethink their lives.
No, well, I do. I rethink my life. I think maybe that's what I like instead. So I spend, instead of ladies, and then I spend maybe 2 or 3 hours looking on the internet to see if what I really want is James. Yeah. And once I get that out of my system, I'm ready to do podcasts again.
2 or 3 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if this is a matter of public record, but I last a lot longer when it's just me. Like, to a ridiculous magnitude. James?
What?
You've got something to say about ejaculation.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
Just don't happen. I just have to bail.
Oh.
We just have to agree that we're probably done.
We're like complete opposites, you and I, at this point. You're taller.
Yeah.
And I come ridiculously quickly. Like, so quickly. If it was a race.
I am on quite a high dosage of antidepressants. Apparently that does affect your ability to feel anything, apparently.
I'm not on anything. I've just always been a bit like this.
Yeah.
I probably don't have meningitis.
Fucking hell.
Probably not.
Listener, I probably don't have meningitis.
It's
stop
probably
saying
a sinus headache. That's still serious.
I think it's just a sinus headache
as long
and
as
anxiety.
it's not going to kill me, I don't care.
And can't catch meningitis.
No, hold on.
I think
hold
you
on
can.
a minute.
How do you get meningitis?
You can't catch meningitis.
Not just sitting in a room with Nick like this.
Okay, good. Because I think you need to say that. That's like one of those QI things, isn't it? Like the moon doesn't exist or something.
How do you catch
right.
meningitis?
But it's exchange of bodily fluids. But it depends what kind of meningitis
Shit.
you have. There are two different meningitis.
You don't know what we were doing before you got here.
Jane. James was talking to Jane then, listener.
Jane.
Actually, it was before you got here as well, listener. Don't worry, you're probably okay, listener. I don't.
You've got
think,
Ebola. You've got more important things
Shit.
to worry about.
and I don't think you can catch stuff through the medium of sound, through hearing things. Although if you can, it's.
You can get an headache from it, though, can't you?
I'm just thinking about the state of my keyboard when I'm doing podcast edits. It's probably fine. It's okay.
I'd hate to put a black light over his keyboard.
gosh.
Oh, I bet it looks like Jackson friggin' Pollock, doesn't it?
It's all a cry for help. So anyway, that's why I'm wearing sunglasses.
Help me come!
That's why I'm having to wear sunglasses indoors, like a fucking someone who still hasn't got over the fucking Matrix.
It does make you look more like Phineas Freak than normal, though.
It's just weird I can't see your eyes.
Yeah.
Because I can if I lean in a certain way. To be fair, the lights are reflecting off your shades. So.
I know it's cyberpunk. It's pretty cool. You can't see it, but under the table I've got my giant duster jacket, which I've been wearing since 1999 or whenever The Matrix came out, because I never grew out of that film. That's not true.
Wasn't that you reminded me of the Bomb Funk MCs by saying it? Was that them 1999?
Have you ever heard of a band called, is it Blackalicious?
No.
Oh no, I've heard the name.
I heard of them a bit today because Harry Potter was singing one of their songs on one of those American programs presented by a Jimmy.
What?
Did he have any clothes on?
It was either Jimmy Kimmel or the other one.
I don't know what
Fallon.
you're talking about. Oh, the one where they just drop by.
Yeah. He dropped by and did a rap, which was quite good. And but now they just keep turning up. At work today, we have been discussing. We are going to have, because tomorrow's Halloween. You two knew that, right?
Yeah.
Even though we're in England, I think we're still supposed to know that.
Yeah.
We are having fun in the office tomorrow.
Oh, yay, forced fun. Woo!
So, some people have done a quiz. Have we ever talked about how I feel about quizzes?
Oh.
Probably a different time. I don't like them. And, because they either make me feel stupid or they make me feel smug, and I don't like either of those feelings.
Depends who's leading the quiz. If it's James or I leading the quiz in the office, then it's awesome. But if it's anyone else, it's rubbish.
Whereabouts on the smug scale does that come? So we're going to have a pop culture quiz, and we've been talking about a Halloween playlist.
Okay.
So we've been having to do a Halloween playlist. And despite myself, I'm sitting at my desk, all these fucking emails filling up the inbox with people's suggestions, and I'm sitting there going, this is a stupid idea. Oh, shit, Don't Fear the Reaper by the Blue Oyster Cult. Oh, shit. That's basically the Halloween theme. It has to be the Halloween theme.
I like Don't Fear the Reaper.
No,
What's
I
wrong
like
with
it.
Don't Fear the Reaper? You should suggest Godzilla by the same band.
The problem is... it's a great piece of music to listen to in the privacy of your own home, or even on the end of the Frighteners movie soundtrack. It's just I don't want to take part in this playlist.
Or maybe your workmates will take heed to the message in that song, and they just put themselves out of your misery.
Is the message of Don't Fear the Reaper just kill yourself, dude?
Or get someone to kill you.
They talk about great sort of tragic couples that ended it.
All I know about that song is the chorus.
Okay.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Almost.
He mentions Romeo and Juliet. Who else does he mention?
Oh, no, don't put me on the pot, because that's the
Don't
one I was
put you on the
thinking.
pot.
Don't put me on the pot. I don't want to boil. I'm not the wolf from the Three Little Pigs, depending on which version you've read.
Are you okay, James?
No, my mouth just completely stopped working there. I'm sorry about that.
The most scary film I think I'm going to watch this week was Pontypool. And Pontypool is about
Is that a
about an
spin-off from
outbreak.
In the Night Garden?
No, and I thought it was going to be a Welsh horror film, but that's misleading. It's actually a Canadian horror film, and
Same thing, isn't it?
without saying too much about it. Well, I think some of the Welsh probably did settle up there. They settled. Jesse James was Welsh.
Isn't it Peru? Massive Welsh...
in Patagonia.
Yeah, but they're not
Or
the same
somewhere.
thing.
Well,
like
I went for
Canadians.
Peru. You went for Patagonia.
I don't know where that is really.
It's
My
all South
geography's-
America, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so
The bottom of South America.
this film is about a virus that sends people mad, but it's a language virus, and people stop being able to talk properly. So Jane, if James starts suddenly repeating, if he starts babbling and then suddenly starts repeating himself, we have to either get out of here really quickly or subdue him.
What if he stops midway through a sentence?
Well, no, that's just normal. It's if he
Yeah.
starts repeating it, we really
How
need
are
to be
you?
careful.
Oh God, my daughter repeats herself quite a lot.
You should bash her head in. It's the only way to be sure. Well, I mean, you want to keep your wife safe.
Oh, it's a little bit like no, I don't. I know I can't. I feel like the dad from Hansel and Gretel. Oh, I was only doing what my wife said. I'm so confused.
So anyway, you guys, how have you been?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay, Jane?
Yeah, good. I've been watching a lot of Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah?
Yes.
And then berating me for not watching
Yeah,
enough Trailer Park
because
Boys.
he'll really like it if you
I do
watched
like it. I've watched 3 or 4
I've
episodes.
seen about 5 minutes of it, and I think that I have so many other things that I'm not finding time to watch that I'll probably watch those things first and then get back to Trailer Park Boys. It seems like I shouldn't watch that until I'm at least up to date on Adventure Time and have watched The Flash, because everyone likes The Flash apparently.
I haven't watched The Flash yet, and I'm definitely not up to date on Adventure Time.
Oh.
I can't,
Anyway,
yeah.
what's Trailer Park Boys about?
It's about 3 men who live in a trailer park, and it sounds like it's going to be terrible, and the picture makes it look like it's going to be terrible, but it's very, very funny.
Okay.
And if anyone is a Haven fan, John Dunsworth, who's also in Haven, is plays a character called Mr. Leahy.
That's the holiday parks, right?
No, the American Haven.
I think James is
The
a big
Stephen
fan of
King
Havens.
based program, and he is extremely funny in that, and it's funny to see him in something that's quite straight and then something that's very sweary and naughty.
Silly and stupid.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's
and
fun.
did you say, have you actually seen American Horror Story, the new series?
Yes, I started watching the new series American Horror Story. Well, not new, the 3rd series, because the newest season's not finished yet. But
Coven.
yeah, Coven. I haven't watched Freaks yet. But oh god, it's so good. I'm only 3 episodes in. I love Sarah Paulson.
I love Sarah Paulson. Angela Bassett turns up. I really like her as well.
And Lily Robe as well. She's brilliant.
The woman who's heads all of it, is it Faye Dunaway? No. Who is it?
Oh, Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange.
Not Jessica Lange.
I think I was getting my King Kong Faye Rays mixed up there. She's amazing.
Voodoo
Cheers.
Sister.
There is a voodoo sister in it.
No, Faye Ray is Voodoo's sister.
I worry about that series, though, because there are points at which I'm not 100% sure about the race representation in it, but it's still lots of fun. All of the black people are in it are into voodoo.
But that's in context with the story at the beginning.
It always is, Jane. That's how the racists get you.
They're into 80s house.
I haven't watched. I haven't got to a point yet. I haven't watched much of it, so I might get to the parts you're referring to, and be like, oh.
I don't know. We need to catch up on it. We're roughly the middle of the series.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I've only
It
3 episodes in.
It is good. It is good, and the setting is very New Orleans-y. I like how they're attacking a different area of American horror.
Is there a lot of ragtime jazz? I do like ragtime jazz.
There's a lot of good music. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know the genre. I don't see genres, James. I think all music should just be taken on its merits.
The Flash happened this week as well, didn't he? People watched that and had an opinion.
Have you watched it?
No.
I haven't. So
Constantine did as well, I think.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
People watched that.
Oh, okay. So, what's the vibe? Is it good? Is it bad?
Everyone seems to like it, but I think it's really hard to tell with people because
We'll have to make a decision for ourselves then.
yeah, it's really hard to tell with people because it's hard. It's possible that people are just responding to the Flash as, you know, people seem to swing back and forward like a pendulum, and Gotham came out and nobody seemed to like it. It seemed like nobody really liked it. And the Flash is the next thing. And so people seem to be comparing the Flash to Gotham and saying, oh yeah, it's really great.
Wasn't there a TV series? Hasn't there already been a TV series of The Flash that came out in the 90s?
Yes, it had, I feel like it was Dick Van Dyke's son as the Flash, but that could be wrong. He looked like Dick Van Dyke's son.
I
He had a big old jaw.
fairly vaguely remember seeing it, and I think I've seen bits of it since when people have been talking about it. But...
It was quite fun. He was wearing one of those big muscle suits.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because he always made me think of Stretch Armstrong.
Third wave of Marvel films were announced this week.
We can talk about those. Would
Thanks. No, not really.
Would you like to talk about anything, James?
No, I just thought it's comic book related. I thought I'd throw it in there. I don't care. I don't really give a monkeys about superhero films. I don't buy into the dogma that because I like comics, I have to be excited by superhero films. Different medium. I don't really give a monkeys. I don't mind a decent action film, but I like
Iron Man 3 was a decent action film.
It's all right, wasn't it?
Captain America Winter Soldier, which we only watched recently, was actually a pretty good action film.
Not seen it.
First one was pretty good. I was quite surprised by that.
I liked the first one. Chris Evans is very charming.
He is.
Disarmingly so. I prefer Channing Tatum, it turns out.
Really? Oh, really?
We saw whichever of the White House siege films was him.
Olympus Has Black Hawk Down.
No, Olympus Has Fallen, isn't that?
Was that him, or was that the
him.
the Garth Brooks one?
I think I might mean. I forgot about the country and western singing in it.
I think I might be thinking of Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
They've got the same initials.
Is that how you remember people?
So's Great Britain. Great Britain.
That was next on his list.
Where Great Britain saves the White House from terrorists.
Always.
But Channing Tatum, every time we see him, I think, he can't possibly be an actor, though. Look at him. He looks like a beefcake model.
Have you seen...
And then he's really good.
Magic Mike?
I haven't. He does a turn in This Is the End, I think it is, which is great. He's somebody's sex puppy slave, and he's really good in 21 Jump Street, and I haven't seen 22 Jump Street, and he is really good in the White House Black Hawk has fallen, whatever it was James called it.
Yeah,
he's good. He's got similar sort of energy to Bruce Willis in the first Die Hard film, where he was the good Die Hard.
Okay. Cheeky rogue, but nice family man, action hero.
Kind of doesn't look...
nice family man, and is he?
No.
The relationship's all sort of falling apart.
Yeah, he's trying to save it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like deep down, nice family man.
He's trying to look after his daughter in this film.
I think Die Hard, what he was actually going to do was he was going to climb to the top of that building and dress up as Spider-Man.
and try and get custody of the kids.
Okay. Early Fathers for Justice. You don't hear much about them these days. Do you think it's because they've all joined UKIP?
Yes.
Same colour scheme, though, isn't it? They went for purples.
Channing Tatum in that film looks like he doesn't actually like being shot at, which I don't think enough action heroes really look like anymore, which is quite good.
That's a good point.
Maybe Samuel L. Jackson's a big UKIP fan, because he's all about purple, isn't he?
I've no idea what you're talking about. Is that their colour?
Yeah.
So maybe Prince as well.
Yeah.
Maybe Amy is. She likes purple.
Yeah. Goths. All goths.
The Joker in the Tim Burton film.
Yeah. Other...
Eminem.
That woman that wrote When I Grow Old I Shall Wear Purple.
Was she a poet?
I don't know.
Lady in Purple.
I don't care.
I've heard a beat poet, so I've never heard of a fuck poet.
They're poets who solely sing poetry while fucking someone.
Oh, right. They don't like... I'd say someone
It's got its own rhythm.
Someone like Stoya maybe is a fuck poet because she does sex artistically.
Yeah, maybe.
Apparently.
And
so
James Dean.
Me.
I do like James Dean and Stoya.
Yeah, we know.
They're like the Neil Gaiman and Amanda Palmer of porn, only not annoying. What? You've both gone completely deadly silent.
I just feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you talking about Neil Gaiman like that. I just, an angel dies every time you say something nasty about or fairy or some mystical beast. A unicorn dies every time you. A
unicorn loses its horn and becomes an ordinary dead-eyed horse.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I've lost my horn and I've become a dead-eyed horse.
He's a very talented writer.
I tell you what, I saw some Shire horses on Monday. Fucking hell, they got big heads, haven't they?
He's, yes. Have
they? Are they the one with...
Yeah.
Are they sort of like the short but stocky ones?
No, they're the really fucking big ones.
Oh, no, they are the massive ones. The humongous
You're thinking of
ones.
Shetland ponies.
And you're just... Yeah, I was actually, yeah. And, wow, it's not just their head that's big. Their feet are huge, too.
Everything's huge about them, Jane. They're all in proportion, if you know what I'm saying. Click, click, wink, wink.
Uh-oh. What you wanted for?
Penises.
I think Jane already made that joke, kind of.
I wasn't listening. I'm replying to a text message someone sent me.
Oh dear, James.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Dead Island because we can't watch The Walking Dead yet. It's making me really sad. So yeah, I just thought I'd kill zombies instead. But
Are you
that's
not
making
allowed?
me sad too. We can't yet. We have to wait.
Oh.
Which is sad.
I don't understand why. I don't know.
Because we have lots of other things to watch, and Steve is working on his comic at the moment, so can't introduce something new to the mix.
Maybe want to rein back on that Trailer Park Boys for a minute. Watch some Walking Dead.
Yeah,
wish
Trailer
you
Park
would.
Boys is nice background stuff. You don't have to pay too much attention to it. I think The Walking Dead is going to be a bit more sit down and pay attention.
You know, now that you say that it's the sort of TV you don't really have to watch, you can just have it on in the background. I really want to watch it.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, don't need to give it. It doesn't need that much attention. It's
Good
not
for
high
ironing.
maintenance. Not high maintenance. Yeah.
I hate ironing.
Yeah, I hate ironing.
This is We Have Issues. We'll talk about comics in a minute. You can, if you really want to, you can find all of the past episodes at wehaveissues.net. We have a page on Facebook. You can listen to us on Stitcher, iTunes. iTunes is pretty good for listening to podcasts.
iTunes, it's almost like it was built for it. Or vice versa. I don't really know.
We've got a page on Tumblr. We're on SoundCloud and YouTube now as well. Apparently,
YouTube?
Apparently what happens with YouTube, I read about it once in a Optimize Your Maximization blog post, where someone was talking about hits and improving the visibility of your brand. I think it was spelled visibility.
All right.
Oh, okay.
And they said that when you post stuff on YouTube, it says this might seem unusual for audio, but if you post stuff on YouTube, basically Google scrutinizes the shit out of it when people do searches on keywords and stuff.
All right, so it's search engine optimization you're talking about there. I
Yeah,
guess.
I think what we've got here is really special, and I want more people to listen to it.
So do I. Oh God, it's completely Nathan Barley, isn't it?
So, no, it isn't. It's just I was bored, so I figured I'd try and make that happen. But that's kind of why Nathan Barley does everything.
Yeah.
We're also on Twitter at IssuesPod. We sometimes post stuff out of that now.
Yeah, mostly YouTube links.
Yeah, that's true at the moment. And you can email us at issuespod@gmail.com, where if you want to ask us questions or leave comments that you're embarrassed to leave anywhere else, you can leave comments anywhere you want. We don't mind. And just if you want to send us contributions, but talk to us about that first.
Financial contributions.
Yeah, financial contributions. I've heard there are other ways of doing it, that the internet's trying to make that sort of thing easy, but I don't think any of them will last. I think Kickstarter and Patreon are going to blow over.
Yeah, probably. Send German bearer bonds. I was watching Beverly
I think
Hills
gold.
Cop.
Send us gold.
Yeah.
It's got to still be worth something, hasn't
Not
it?
the ABBA Greatest Hits album, though. Don't send
Human
us-
hair.
Is that worth something? Is that worth as much as gold? Saffron.
Yeah.
That's worth more than gold weight for weight. People
I think
are
it's
always
probably
gonna
worth a
want-
lot more than human hair. People keep growing hair.
Yeah, you
They
could have
do.
had loads of
But
mine
good
earlier.
quality human hair. I think that would probably be quite expensive. I don't know. I'm creating a market, Nick.
All right, okay.
So if they send us human hair, we can sell it.
What about pubic hair?
Oh, no.
I've got a
don't do
ton of that if
Please
you
don't
want it.
do that. Don't do that, James.
James, do you want to talk about your comics? 'Cause
Yes.
This is way off the rails. Let's just talk about your comics.
I read a
Let's
comic-
get this done.
I read a comic. We have issues. Let's just get this done. I read a book that is published by Titan Comics at a price point anywhere between $2.99 and $3.99 probably. And
I thought you'd done research.
yeah, I have, but I couldn't
Or
find
they
a price.
just don't choose. They just pick and choose what they're
Yeah,
going to do.
that's it. Yeah, it's whatever. It's luck of the draw. When you go up to the counter in your local comic book shop, it's whatever the cashier's feeling like.
Titan do this weird thing, or Forbidden Planet do this weird thing, where if a comic's $3.99,
Yeah.
a Titan comic $3.99, they sell it for £3.99 or something like that. It's a bit weird.
Right. Yeah, no, that's
I don't really understand
cheeky, innit?
I might be wrong about that. So
anyway, the book, if I haven't already said, is 13 Coins. It's written by Martin.
I thought you said it was $2.99.
You're a funny fucker. It's written by Michael Brennan and Michael B. Jackson, who apparently are writers of the computer game Hitman Absolution.
Oh.
Yes. It's penciled by Simon Bisley, which is what drew me to the comic, with digital painting by Ryan Brown and David Withers. He's the letterer, just to get the full creative team in. Basically, 13 Coins. It's the first issue. It's kind of split into two parts. You get the exposition out of the way, the basis for the story, and then you get to meet a few of the characters. So the story essentially of the 13 Coins were created from the chains that restrain an angel called Semyaza. Semyaza.
Your pronunciation there was beautiful.
Thank you. He was an angel who got fed up with the fact that God kept letting humans get away with all sorts of shit.
Because angels aren't allowed to do anything.
They're not, and they haven't got any junk, which is I can kind of empathise. But he led a rebellion against God. Obviously, God won because done he always. And 13 of his army escaped to Earth, and with some of the chains that bound Semyaza. They minted 13 coins, one for each of them. And there's this prophecy about, it's a chosen one prophecy. It's a well-trodden path with these sort of stories, to be fair. And then we go to the modern day and we meet a cast of characters. So we meet a guy called John Ponler, who's he was a really good basketball player, got caught out with a drugs gang. So now he's kind of a street hustler and works in a kitchen. We meet another guy who I don't think is named, but he's lost his leg in the war. His family are very proud of him. They're kind of introduced, but not too much about them is explained. Clearly they're going to play a part, I would have thought, as the story goes on. I think it's kind of implied that maybe this John character could be the chosen one, but then there's this other guy that isn't really introduced properly, so there's some ambiguity there, which I found quite interesting. And then we're also introduced to what we I read it on my own. There wasn't a group of us. What I assume are agents.
I think it's a royal we. That's fine.
It is, yeah. Well, yeah. These agents, who I assume are agents of heaven, who are called Samuel, Gwen, David, and Laurie, and the boss, and they're involved in a chase after there's an assassination, clearly by agents of the Fallen. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. To be honest with you, it's the catchphrase.
Yeah, it's back. It's back.
It moved at quite a pace. It gave quite a lot of information very early on. The opening pages are really dramatic. Obviously, you've got great sort of heavenly battles. So Bisley just absolutely goes to town on these big splash pages with lots of guts and gore and monsters. And he's absolutely in his element. It's really dynamic, really interesting, and reminds me of what I fell in love with back in the 80s, looking at his artwork in 2000 AD. I enjoyed that stuff more than I enjoyed art from an artwork perspective, more than I enjoyed the modern day stuff. The digital effect, the digital painting, gives it a bit too much of a CGI quality, which I kind of struggled with. It still looks great, but it was a little bit too clean, especially after this. It's not quite so apparent in the stuff that's like the historic heavenly battles. But the story ticks along at a really, obviously it's lovely art. Sorry to. And my only issues were a little bit in terms of the finishing of the painting. Mm-hmm. But the story ticks along at a really good pace. I am an absolute sucker for a supernatural,
I like angels. I like the biblical, the religious.
That's it. A big,
stuff.
Big
mythology.
Big sort of, but that's the word I was looking for. These stories with sort of like, religious mythology and so forth. I'm a real sucker for that. So it starts really interesting. It looks like it's going to be a sort of interesting, action thriller. And it's drawn by Simon Bisley, who does that sort of stuff, He does guts and gore and that sort of stuff better than pretty much any artist I can think of off the top of my head. He always used to do really good stuff in 2000 AD. So if you're a fan of Bisley from Lobo or 2000 AD or
ABC
Warriors, any of the stuff he's done over the years, it's well worth picking up because you get a good, not only do you get Bisley art, you get a really interesting and intriguing story to go with it.
Cool, thank you, James.
Thank you.
Jane.
Thank you.
Jane, what have you got?
This week I have 2 books which have a central theme of someone trying to get killed. Sorry, someone trying to kill someone else. Not someone trying to get killed. I don't think they want to get killed. I don't know, they're the first issues. The first one...
Is it a comic about death by cop?
By cop?
We were talking about this
Death
the other
by
day.
cock?
Cop. It's where you, I think... predominantly in America, or where police are armed.
Oh, so not close of play?
No, you go out of your way to do something that will
they'll
get
shoot you for.
that'll get you shot.
Oh, God, no, nothing
People do
like
that.
Yeah.
They certainly do that in fiction.
Yeah.
Nope, no, neither. There's bad people that want to hurt them, not police people. The first one is Rasputin, which is from Image Comics, and it was £1.99 on Comixology. It is written by Alex Grecian with art by Riley Rossmo. That's why I got it, because of the art. I love Riley Rossmo, and to see his actual art in a comic's quite rare for me, so I was really looking forward to that. It's about Grigory Rasputin, who is a man who has had a troubled life. His upbringing was particularly brutal. There is no sort of time that this is set in, but I think it's safe to say it's definitely not modern day. It's a long time ago.
I think he's the historical figure, isn't he?
Oh, your actual rah-rah Rasputin.
Yeah.
From the Boney M song.
Oh, I didn't know
So he's
that.
at least from the 70s.
It's from before the 70s.
Yeah.
The 1870s.
And he has the power to bring people back to life.
Yes. Although I don't know if that's historically accurate.
No, I don't think so. In a very forceful way too. I like it. It is a very nice representation of life going back into somebody.
That's exactly what it'd look like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
how
can't
it
miss
should look
about,
like.
can you?
Yeah. This is just setting a scene, so you're learning about his parents, his upbringing, but the narrative is sort of him as an older man talking about how somebody's going to kill him. He knows that he's just about to be killed. It'd be interesting, I don't know if this is a story of starting from his life and to find out, we're learning about his gifts and some of the really horrible things that happened to him, and whether or not we're going to go throughout his life to figure out how he's got to the point where he's sitting around a table full of his friends and one of them's going to kill him. So we're not sure, really.
We've all had a night out like that, though.
Yeah, I
haven't we?
know.
Yeah, that's why I stopped going out, really. He's also a low-down son of a gun. That's something they don't mention in the
That's
comic.
true.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't have any of that come through just yet. That might be in the next issue.
Has he loved the Russian Queen yet?
I don't know. He doesn't in this issue, does he?
No.
No. I don't know any other words from that song. Do you know any other words from that song?
Yeah, he was a cat that really was gone.
No, he's definitely not a cat, and he's definitely there.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to learn more about his life and how he's got to this point, but the story's really good. It's really intriguing. The narrative's really nice. I really enjoyed it. But the art's incredible. The art's what's done it for me. It's he's Russian, so there are scenes of he's from Serbia, so there are scenes of Serbia, so just vast snow and things that you get in Serbia.
It's a bear.
Yeah, there is a bear, actually.
A really nicely drawn bear.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Snow rabbits.
I've not liked a bear.
There are no snow rabbits.
Is there a timber wolf?
No timber wolves.
I've not seen a bear, maybe in future issues. I've not seen a bear that nicely drawn since Bill Sienkiewicz's bear in the New Mutants issue in which he famously drew a bear.
Wow, there you
It's
go.
a demon bear, though. It's a bit bigger than this bear.
Oh, that's probably a bit more scarier. All those bears pretty scary. Just the sense of they're in snow. Snow can be quite easily not snowy, if that makes any sense at all. You don't really get the feeling that they're walking in snow. It's like they're walking on nothing.
Like they're walking in the air. You've picked the wrong
not
song.
in air, on nothing.
I know what you mean.
It's really gorgeous, and the colour. I should have actually just checked the colour. Its colour is really gorgeous as well too. I really enjoyed it. Nick, you obviously read it, so I take it you enjoyed it.
I really liked it. It's
Serbia. Am I talking about Siberia? Why did I say Serbia?
No one knows.
They're alliterative, aren't they?
Ivan Placencia.
Not really.
Is the colorist.
Oh, right. Yeah. The colour's incredible on this.
It was a deeper, more emotional read than I was expecting from the first few pages. It's quite heartfelt. I'm really engaged with the characters. So.
I don't want to give away too much, but you're right. I was quite surprised at how the story went and just thought, wow, no, hang on a minute. Why does somebody want to kill him? I don't want him to be killed.
So what's the other comic where the theme is that someone doesn't want to be killed but might be being killed, but they want to kill someone who is a bear?
Yeah.
I love those sort of comics.
I can't say the name of my next comic.
Is it a secret?
No. It's not a secret. I just can't literally say it.
Oh.
I'll pass it to James.
Oh yeah, because I'm a master.
Give it a try.
Ciudad.
I think it's supposed to be Spanish or Portuguese.
Ciudad.
Supposed to be. How's it spelled?
Ciudad.
Ciudad.
Yeah.
It's not my dad.
Ciudad. Yes.
We're not talking about that. That's the other podcast.
Oh. This is by Omnipress, not Omnipress. Omnipress, not Omnipress. Omnipress. And it is written by... Sorry, listener, I am having to look very closely. Andy Parks, from a story by Andy Parks, Joe Russo, and Anthony Russo. And the illustration is by Fernando Leon Gonzalez, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
It's very small, listener. I am very blind. This is...
She is.
Yeah.
Your eyesight's appalling.
I know, I am very short-sighted. And I'm wearing things to help with my eyesight, and it's still
contact
awful.
lenses.
All right.
Yeah.
Not
things. Yeah, contact lenses. I was going to say
Special
aids.
Technology.
Yeah.
I was saying I want aids to help, but that just sounds like
AIDS wouldn't help.
AIDS isn't going to help your eyesight
see,
at all.
that's why I didn't say
AIDS is even worse for eyesight than meningitis.
Oh,
which I've probably got.
That's why I didn't say it. Anyways, it's a rescue mission. So we start off, it's a black and white comic. We start off with our main character, one of our main characters, being held up in a room by gunmen, and they've got their faces covered, and it becomes very clear very quickly that a kidnap has taken place, and this man is here to pass a message on from the father of the daughter who's been kidnapped by this gang. The gang are asking for an awful lot of money, $20 million, for the return of this daughter. So obviously you already get the vibe that this man and his daughter are very, very important very important in the sense that they've got a lot of money. They're very powerful. This is why this gang wants to take the money from them. It seems like this guy's here just as a middleman to sort of break the deal or discuss the deal, but it's not the case. He turns out that he is there actually to rescue the girl and takes down the gang in the most awesome style ever. That isn't the worst challenge they face. The worst challenge is it's a first part of a 5-part series. The challenge that takes place that's going to be set over the next 4 issues is them trying to escape this city, basically, where they're hated. Everyone seems to know who they are. Everyone seems to know that he's killed people. Everyone seems to know that she's the girl that they've kidnapped. So it's obviously a gang stronghold. And even just to escape immediate danger, they are faced by all sorts of things as they're trying to escape. Really, really good, really action-packed from start to finish. Not a huge amount of dialogue, but it doesn't need to be. The art's very clear in what's going on. It's very clean, but really, really detailed. Some of the gorier sides to the fight, very well portrayed by the splats of the dark blood, the black ink that's sort of spraying across the page, which was really nice. The sense of sort of frantic fear as well. The girl's obviously she's been kidnapped and now she's being rescued, but she has to do everything he tells her to do because she's going to get killed. She's from one immediate danger to another, and just her panic throughout this sort of scenes where you see her trying to keep up with him and trying to do what he's asked her to do, but also, very scared of what's going on, really comes through quite nicely. The dialogue was a little cheesy at times, but it was fun, and a lot of it is their Portuguese gang, so it's sort of a mimic translation where they have the I don't know what the name of the
little
brackets.
They're like HTML brackets.
Yeah, the sort of more angled brackets to demonstrate they're talking a different language. Really good. This was £1.49 on Comixology, and it is you get a lot for your money with this. It was a really long read. I really enjoyed it. Being 5 parts as well, it's just sort of instantly I want to get on to the next 4 issues to see what happens and how this is going to end, because right now it's so much information and so much has happened. You're not sure if they're going to survive, if that's actually going to happen, or something worse is going to happen. But yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it.
Cool. Okay, that sounds good. I did read Rasputin. Really liked it. How much was it? It was $3.50 in hard copy.
Oh, wow.
So you can immediately see a saving if you get it digitally. But then you don't get the nice cover.
No, that's true. I did get that.
You get a
particular cover, but
it's not in your hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I've mainly got second issues. Tuki by Jeff Smith. I think I talked about the first issue on one of the earlier episodes. It's Jeff Smith is well known for doing the kind of all ages comic Bone, which was a black and white comic about an odd little creature.
He always made me think of a ghost, like Casper.
He looks a lot like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Same sort of thing. This is a full colour comic by him. It's taking a while to come out, and it's done in landscape format, which is really nice. And it was, how much was it? It's from his own publisher, and it's $3.99.
That is nice. The only landscape comic I've ever read is a Moomin comic, so it's nice to see that in landscape too.
There's that episode of Grant Morrison's X-Men.
Oh yeah, the annual. There was an annual that was really good. Yeah, that's true. That was a great comic.
Isn't it? It's Emma Frost and Jean Grey, and they're communicating just in symbols in a telepathic manner, aren't they?
For the whole comic?
Yeah,
I don't think that was the whole comic.
Oh, it's a load of old Morrison. It is, because I didn't really bother trying to interpret any of it, so I read it in about 3 minutes.
I think you might have missed a few pages.
No.
Anyway, no, this isn't that comic. Right, so this is the story of I think it's supposed to be the story of the first man out of Africa. I can't remember which period. The first issue had loads of stuff. It's set 2 million years ago. A great ice age gripped the earth, trapping all moisture in the polar ice caps, causing drought and upheaval in the rest of the world. Vast tropical jungles gave way to dusty grasslands, and all living creatures struggled to survive, including the many species of hominids. To avoid extinction, something had to be done. This is the story of the first human to leave Africa. Jeff Smith wrote and drew it. It was coloured and designed by Tom Gadt, spelled G-A-A-D-T. I don't think I pronounced that right, but it's fine. I tried, and that's what's important. The first issue was a little while ago, and maybe it was a month ago. I feel like it was a bit longer, and I think it left off somewhere different from where this issue began. So I did spend the first couple of pages a bit confused.
Oh, okay.
I could be completely wrong. My memory might be playing tricks on me. But the last issue had this weird shaman, who Tuki himself is he's not quite Homo sapien, but he's pretty clear. He's pretty close to us in terms of species. But,
okay.
But other characters in it are like, he was talking to a shaman who was much more like a sort of a monkey or an ape. Okay. That was talking to him, and that was just off the rails, and announced this prophecy to Tuki, that in this issue, it seems there might be more to that prophecy because elements of it start to come through. But this issue starts with Tuki is trying to rescue this little guy, this little toddler. Well, he's not really a toddler. It's kind of difficult to say because he's got a giant head, but he's like this little boy who seems to have split off from his tribe. And the issue starts with Tuki trying to save him from a saber-tooth. But there's also, underlying all that, there's the ongoing issue of them not really having much food. So while he's doing that, he's also trying to distract this saber-tooth from a dead animal that he's spotted. that he wants, because there isn't a lot of food around, and so that's kind of a theme, but it never gets that dark. You get this overarching sense of scarcity, and there's quite a struggle. But because Jeff Smith's art is very cartoony and very, it's very, it's not really Disney-esque, but it looks like an animator's drawing it. He's got a very cartoony style. I think deliberately. So it never, even when it's quite dramatic and there's lots of peril, which happens a couple of times in this issue, it's never really harsh. The thing that it reminds me of a little bit is Studio Ghibli films, Miyazaki films, and I don't necessarily think that's an accident, because there is a scene in this where he gets attacked by like a gigantic, like a gorilla-like species that clearly seems to be possessed by something, or it thinks it's a god. It thinks it's immortal. It has an intelligence to it, and there's a moment where these weird tendrils, when it gets angry, there are these weird tendrils that come out of its face, which is very similar to when the animal kingdom starts getting possessed in the film Princess Mononoke. It looks really similar to that. I don't think that's accidental. It's a gorgeous looking comic. I think it's probably okay for anyone who's old enough to actually read it and understand it. And I feel a little bit dubious about the historical veracity of it, but I know it's an era that Jeff Smith is very interested in and that he has done a certain amount of research in. There's a lot less in the back of this issue. There's a lot less back matter about the era. The previous issue had loads of stuff, loads of research, and this one doesn't really have any. It does name a couple of the species that we see in it, and there's a really nice Fabio Moon pin-up.
Ooh.
And a pin-up by Tom Gatt as well, who's the colour artist on it.
I'm going to the Natural History Museum tomorrow, so if you'd like me to research and report back.
Yeah, I want you to research everything that happened around the time when the human race left Africa.
Okay, because I don't think...
Can you research everything else as well?
Yeah.
I don't think the human race did anything 2 million years ago.
No,
it's more like 100,000 years.
Yeah, it's when like I think I'm saying the human race is shorthand because I'm an ignoramus. But
Erectus.
He's not Homo sapien.
Okay.
He doesn't. He looks more like Homo sapien than any of the other creatures he's met so far, but he's not quite on the same rung of the evolutionary ladder that we are.
Racist.
Maybe a bit. Okay, so Aliens, one of the other comics I've got is Aliens, Fire and Stone, number 2 of 4. It's written by Chris Roberson with art by Patric Reynolds. It's part of the huge Alien Predator Prometheus verse event that Dark Horse are doing. This is, I think, 4-part miniseries, each with a different creative team, each centering around the same worlds, but in slightly different time periods. So each book, as far as I can tell, is self-contained, but there are elements that are clearly relating to each other. They're a bit cheeky about it because it's Prometheus, Aliens, Predator, and Aliens versus Predator. Aliens versus Predator is one of the 4 things they've got, and that's a bit, that's just 2 of the other ones put together.
And didn't they learn anything from the films?
Well, I mean, Dark Horse kind of invented the Aliens versus Predator thing, and quite a while before, I think they kind of came up with the idea of them doing the films.
Wasn't the thing like the Predators created the aliens as a ultimate species to hunt?
No.
Oh, where did I get that?
But what they
from?
did do. It's a very specific, very particular reading of what they did do. What they did do, it was suggested in Predator 2 and also in the first Alien vs Predator series, is the Predators live to hunt, and the aliens, they've discovered that the aliens are the most deadly prey in the universe or in the galaxy or whatever. and so they seed planets with aliens.
Oh, that's stupid.
Well, no, they do it. They do it to train as a rite of passage for their young predators. So they seed a planet, and once the aliens have sort of taken over a little bit, they send their youngsters down, and they have to.
It's not a nice way to conduct yourself, though, is it?
Oh, they're aliens. I mean, the predators are also aliens. So it's a little bit misleading. Yeah. The whole thing's a little bit misleading. The original Alien vs. Predator comics are great. The first few series are all really, really good. In fact, the original Aliens comics from Dark Horse are really good, and the Predator ones are okay. They try to tie a little bit too closely to the first film, for my liking. But of the books I've read so far, because I've tried to keep up on the Prometheus book and the Alien vs. Predator book as well. They're all really good, but this is my favourite one. Chris Roberson is writing a really grounded story of just a bunch of humans who are trying to survive when they have brought a small handful, they've accidentally brought a small handful of the xenomorphs from the planet they were escaping, which had xenomorphs on it.
A small handful, though, is a whole lot of trouble, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And they know...
it's a bushel of trouble.
The reader... There's a power struggle going on within the group, or there's at least one power struggle going on within the group, and we are experiencing the story from the point of view of the guy who's the most natural observer. He's the one who's most inquisitive about what's going on. He's found a recording device because they're on the planet from the film Prometheus, basically. So he's found the recording device there, and he's using it to find out more about the planet. There's a power struggle within the group. What the reader knows, and I didn't think this was going to be a big deal, but what the reader knows, but that the characters don't know, is that it was one person's failure under pressure to make a good decision that has led to the aliens being there. They think it's just happened as a kind of a fluke, and the stuff that happened in this issue made me think that maybe that's going to come up at some point. The dynamic within the group is great. One of the people thinks, "Oh, we've got to go and get the aliens. They keep picking us off." The other one, understandably, sort of says, "That's a fucking horrifying idea. What are you talking about?" The way they've introduced the elements from Prometheus are really interesting. And the art by Patric Reynolds is just gorgeous. It's very realistic. It reminds me a lot of Michael Lark on Lazarus, which I think I said when the first issue came out. It's just a gorgeous looking book. The aliens always look better when they're scratchy and barely seen, and they kind of are in this. There's a lot of motion and movement to them. It's great. And they're on this kind of tropical planet, and they don't really understand how it can be tropical because for all intents and purposes, all records say it was a desert planet 100 years before or something like that. So there's a mystery as well as the aliens they're having to face down. Okay. It's good. I really recommend the Aliens series. And as I said, I think these books are going to be readable, are going to be self-contained, even though they do tie into each other. So, right. And finally, 2000 AD Winter Special.
Oh.
I've got all of the most recent issues of 2000 AD, but I'm not up to date. Do
you find that stressful?
I do, yeah.
When I used to get a 2000 AD backlog, it used to really angst me.
It is. It's angsting me quite a lot, actually. And what's happened is there were a couple of weeks when I couldn't go to the comic shop, I think, which is why there's some of that going on. Oh, yeah, because they were all sick. It was a plague shop. And also, it turns out that it doesn't matter how good a John Wagner Judge Dredd story is. If I've got 2 weeks of Carlos Ezquerra art that I've got to get through, I just can't get through it. And so I end up feeling guilty that I haven't read the first strip and there's a Stickleback story running through it at the moment, and I love that, and there's a couple of other stories in there. I don't know.
For balance, I quite like Carlos Ezquerra's.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Winter Special I picked up. I don't always pick up the specials. They've taken recently to reprinting some old stuff in them, which is sometimes a bit tedious. I think I might be misspeaking again. Taking on Titan and 2000 with my dimly held memories.
Yeah, well done.
There's a really good Judge Dredd, Halloween-themed Judge Dredd story, script by T.C. Eglinton with art by Riccardo Bercielli, who I think sort of started out on the Brian Wood's book about New York City, and I can't remember what it's called.
DMC.
Sorry?
DMC?
Yeah, that one. I think that's where he started. Really nice.
No, DMZ, sorry.
DMZ, that's it. DMC was Run DMC.
Yeah.
Really nice art there. Reminds me a little bit of Jesus Redondo, who's one of my favourite old 2000 artists. There's as far as I can tell, original Rogue Trooper story.
Ooh.
I can't tell. They changed the rebooted Rogue Trooper to be so much like the original Rogue Trooper. I don't really know what's going on anymore. But it's written by Guy Adams with gorgeous art by Lee Carter. I didn't like Lee Carter's art when I first saw it, and now I just think it's amazing. It's a bit of a it's a bit of a psychodrama, and it's very creepy.
Cool.
There's a weird story called The Alienist, which I think is introducing a new female, supernatural female historical character to 2000 AD. So there aren't that many female starring characters in 2000 AD, actually. So it's quite nice to see her. Really nice 1970s looking black and white line art in that one.
Don't flick over that page. What does that say?
It says Dark Justice, Prog 2015.
I've got to get that.
They've been teasing the Dark Judges for such
years,
a long time,
the Dark
haven't
Judges
they?
escaped. Oh man, I've got to get back on board for that.
Yeah.
That's a really lovely. It's a lovely picture of Judge Death, isn't it?
It's a very creepy Judge Death story.
That's so
I think
cool.
it's one of the staples. Greg Staples? I
don't know. I freaking love the Dark Judges so much.
I do too.
Gaze into the fist of fanboy Dark Judge love.
There's a terror tale, like a creepy little one-off written by Eddie Robson with art by Jeff Anderson, which is fine. It's lovely.
Jeff Anderson, of course, who played Randall in the Clark films.
Yes, James. There's a flashback one-off of Defoe, which I think is probably just a slight precursor to it coming back at some point in the near future, with script by Pat Mills and art by Lee Gallagher.
Really?
It's really nice. It just tells you a little bit about why Defoe now fights on the side that he does. And it rounds out with a gorgeous looking but slightly an all-right Judge Anderson story. Really gorgeous art. I'm selling it short. It's a perfectly decent Judge Anderson story. It's written by Alan Grant with art by Darren Douglas, whose art I've never seen before, but it's gorgeous.
Judge Anderson used to give me feelings in the 80s.
All of us, James. She did all of us. But it's really nice to see Lee Gallagher back in black and white. I liked him coloured in Defoe, but not in Defoe, in the other thing. Aquila. But his black and white art's just lovely, and when he's drawing reeks, I love it.
He's very talented, considering the amount of masturbating he does. I imagine he must get terrible hand cramps.
We've got a contribution from Kehaar.
Yeah.
He sent this in a few weeks ago, so I'm very sorry this is only just going up, Kehaar. But, okay, let's listen to him.
Hello, Isheries. Kehaar here from Dissecting Worlds. As part of our spy series, I have recently reread Checkmate, Pawn Breaks. This is a pre-52 DC title that basically features a UN espionage group that uses metahuman, superhuman, supernatural beings within the conventional DC comic universe of the time. The main story in this involves a plot to infiltrate Cobra, the uniformed terrorist goons force of the DC universe, or one of them, refashioned somewhat as a religious cult, and who actually checks its ranks using magic, so they have to press gang the Shadow Pact to successfully infiltrate them. The whole thing is very effective. It works on a very broad palette. It's a very international story. It uses a lot of lesser-known characters from the DC universe, like Mr. Terrific, like Green Flame from the Golden Guardians, I've already mentioned Shadow Pact, etc. It's really nice to read something that goes the whole length and depth of the DC universe. and doesn't feature the big three or the big six of the Justice League, and really enjoys itself with that history, but is telling an emotionally real story, a politically sage story. The setup of Checkmate is very similar to the organisation that Greg Rucka used for MI6 in Queen and Country, which is very similar to that used for MI6 in Sandburgers, the 70s British TV show that influenced Queen and Country, which was very similar to the setup in the CIA. But it works because you have the operations side and the intelligence side of Checkmate. You have the individual rivalries and passions of the various agents that work there. You have encounters with Bane when he's a dictator of a South American country, but he's passionate about reforming. And it really works, and it's so well served by the art by Jesus Saiz throughout the story. So that's Checkmate Pawn Breaks. I think there's another couple of trades of this Checkmate run. I don't know what's happened with Checkmate and with Suicide Squad, etc. in the New 52, but it would have to go quite a way to be on target with the quality of this. So, this is Kehaar from Dissecting Worlds signing out.
And that's that. That's us.
They do though, don't they, though?
They do though, don't they though, eh? You did that really subtly, and now I sound like I've got a problem with Northerners. What? If
you weren't wearing that T-shirt with it's the British Isles, and the sort of southern half of the British Isles is sort of all golden and sunlit, and there's a massive jackboot coming down on the northern portion.
And when we say southern, very southern is in north of Winchester.
Yeah. And on the jackboot is written Nick's feelings about the north of the UK.
I'm totally I've gone native down here. I'm not from the south, but I think of myself as a southerner. A southern, strong-willed,
southern man,
elite man. We're awesome.
That's right.
Aren't we, James?
No, God, no.
We don't loathe ourselves at all.
Oh, you wouldn't. Like you wouldn't believe.
Well, they don't have time to loathe themselves up there. They're far too, busy.
Too busy being cocky.
I was thinking of
full of it.
Of working hard, being salt of the earth.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So anyway, thanks, Kehaar. Why are you so horrible to him, James?
I am obsessed by him.
You love him, don't you?
Yeah, I'm always the same. You two know, I take it out on those I love the most.
Yes, you do. And it always takes a really, really long time. Sometimes it never happens. Sometimes we just have to give up mid you taking it out on us. I think it's time to go.
Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it?
Thank you, Kehaar. You're awesome. Thank you, listener. You're brilliant. Thank you, James and Jane. You're terrific. Thank you, comics.
Shall we thank Nick? Should we thank Nick?
You don't have to.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
That's just weird. We love you, comics. You're awesome. Keep being awesome. I think specifically what I mean by that is keep not being games at the moment.
Oh.
Let's go.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.